looks out of it. Alright. I'm still noodling around with this double stop G, so pardon me if I keep playing with that. With that for my warm-up. I kind of like that double stop thing. So I'm gonna, maybe I'll spend then the day kind of thinking about the logic of that. If I have any day left, I kind of did that a little long. But is this? Oh, wait a sec. Let's pull this over a little. Get a little bit more space here. Alright. Alright. I had that perfect. That's not the one I wanted to move. I want to move this one. Okay. Alright. So now I'm thinking, so maybe I'll go back in, because I'm kind of like, I really kind of like this key of the Mixolydian G, which is kind of the G bluesy, because it's kind of weird, because you get this difference between the open strings, leaves you with a different distance here, 5, which is a major third away, which is really kind of weird, and then you get this double stop on the 5th fret there, which is kind of the same for the D and the A, but it kind of is right in the middle of the guitar right there. So this whole, the fact that you have like this note, and this note, just kind of is kind of nice right there. And then up here, I have at the 12th fret another kind of double stop thing, because again, right below it, you have the open major third, which is interesting. And then right below it here, you've got the minor third, like right next to it. So that's kind of a, I just started playing with that at the end there. I never really kind of. I'll just kind of mess with those double stops and try to think about why it works. Because if I have a double stop going this way, I can try to get a rhythm and then just try to fit things into the groove. Back and try to do the same thing with my pinky or my ring finger, and then just try to fit things into the groove. It's a little bit difficult. I haven't really done it as much going backwards, but in theory. I should be going underneath it. So I don't know. All right, let's try a joke first, and then maybe I'll kind of do that. I'll just noodle around with that some more. I'm back into my QuickBooks course, by the way, my other channel. So I'm doing QuickBooks has changed a lot. I'm trying to get to the top of the course charts. I can't do it on YouTube because they hate me, but we do have courses that are available. QuickBooks. I'm gonna be doing it for months now, I think. Let's see. I'll try a joke. I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to stop with the troll drama because I feel like it's sucking me in like a soap opera. It's sucking me in like a soap opera. I need to watch my stories. And so I go and I watch the political trolling drama on the right side of the political aisle right now. I need to stop. That's how they suck you in. That's how they suck you into the cult. They get you watching and you're laughing at it, and then all of a sudden you're starting to believe that, man. Starting to believe stuff. I need to stop. I'm getting addicted. So I have gone into just a stupid pun joke. It's pretty bad. It's pretty, well, you know, it is what it is. Here's what I got. Okay, some coffee. I need my stories. My Days of Our Lives is on. I miss Days of Our Lives. I can't. No. It's rotting your brain. It's rotting your brain. Okay. After pushing this wildly over-engineered Pinterest board-powered clean energy transition for the last 20 years over in Europe, for crying out loud, they got the whole clean energy rampage on, and it results in them being dependent from oil from like the world's worst people, the last people you want to be dependent on, because they want to come up with a magic. It's going to be a magic perpetual motion machine that's going to turn a piston and be completely clean, and that's what until then they're going to pay all their money to dictators. That's their plan. So after that, the UK is now finally realizing they're so desperate for electricity, they're basically encouraging kids to misbehave. Why? Because they're like, Timmy, go slap your sister again, because then Santa Claus might drop a little bit of coal in your stocking, and we need that coal. We need that coal. I know it's not clean. But we're tired of spending all our money to dictators to get their energy, because then they cut us off and stuff. So, like, we need the coal, man. So coal, we really need to run the heater before Nana freezes to death. You gotta start slapping anything you can, crush some bugs or something, so Santa will give us some coal so we can not freeze in the long winter. So I get not wanting to use fossil fuels. You know, I understand. Not because they're bad for the planet, but because you'll get yelled at by approximately 4 billion eco-warriors who live online. And let's face it, the UK, the United States to a lesser degree, but we're just watching the UK over there just cave to everybody that calls them anything, right? So now they're an eco warrior they're trying to kill the planet. So then so that means you have to buy all your energy from dictators until we come up with the perpetual motion machine to turn the turbine without any negative impacts or any loss of energy within the turbine perpetual motion energy generation process. And they have a moral objective to everything, including breathing too loudly. You can't breathe too loudly, for crying out loud. And trust me, I personally try to avoid backlash. I get it. I don't like backlash either. I'm more prone to not liking backlash because I have a bad back, okay? People are like, you're a wussy. You don't care about, you're like worried about what the backlash is. Yeah, but I have a bad back, okay? I have an excuse, okay? So I can't risk backlash. Insurance won't cover my puns. But like if your house is so cold, your back is frozen stiff, then maybe at that point you're willing to do something so that coal might gift you some coal, that Santa might just give you coal in the stocking so that you could burn it, and then that would be good, right? Because then you're not worried about the backlash, right? Because your back is frozen. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Right? Are they going to crack you in half? Then fine. Otherwise, I won't feel the backlash. And speaking of people who could handle backlash, you know who was built for it? Mitch McConnell. Not because he's politically skilled, not because he's strategic, although he was both of those things, I gotta say. I gotta give him that. But because he literally has turtle armor. He could shrug off backlash, front lash, side lash, no problem. If you're a turtle, backlash doesn't even hurt you. It just gives you a mild case of shell shock. So we need to bring back the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but not the way they used to be, with where O'Neill didn't look like a pair. That's what we need to do, because they can handle the backlash so that we can move forward without causing a backache. I wrote a song about it. I don't have anything against Mitch McConnell, but he's not great. But I mean, he gets more flack than I think he deserves. But he does look like a turtle, So that's why I had to put it in there. Anyway, so I'm gonna go. Let's see what I got here.
Dreaming up a clean energy machine, all glittered like a Pinterest board with duct tape in between. Now the UK's so drained, they're lighting prayers instead of lamps, begging every little
I misspelled
kid
coal.
to act like tiny gremlin
So.
champs. Timmy, go slap your sister, son, do it fast and do it bold, 'cause Santa might drop coal tonight, and we really need that gold. Coal to keep the heater running, so sweet old Nana doesn't freeze. Funny how your morals wobble when you're shivering at 0 degrees.
Okay. Alright, so if I'm doing my kind of bluesy thing, but I'm kind of thinking about I'm in the key of G, I'm gonna have to put some tape on my thumb. I'm kind of tapping with my thumb. My thumb's getting messed up here. But I'm gonna have to. So if I'm on the G, so I'm in the collection of notes around the key of C again. So pinky on C, which here back to here, that's gonna be position 1, A minor. But I'm looking for the Mixolydian, which is the fifth, which is node number 5. So if this is node number 6, I could just count up there. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there it is. That is a G. So I'm looking at G Mixolydian. Is going to be my tonic, which is a major mode. And then I'm just kind of trying to think, like I could think of it as the major, and then the minor is over here. So I'm kind of going back and forth between the minor, which is over here, which would be the collection of notes around. Is that the minor? Wait a second. The minor is over here. Collection of notes around A sharp or G flat, back to G minor. So that would be position 1 would be back here in that position. So, but I'm going to kind of think in this collection because I know it better. And I'm just kind of thinking that how can I take advantage of the double stops? How can I take advantage of the double stops? Because I kind of like the... So if I do that here, what I happen to be doing is hitting this one, and then I'm going off of that one. I'm hitting this one and then the open one below it, which is basically the same note, but a different feel because I can finger this one. And then I'm opening up the D on top, which is the 5th. That makes sense because it's the 5th because it's 5. I'm going from the 5 to the open 2, so 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 4 modal half steps, which is the 5th scale degree. So that's going to be the one right above it too. And that makes sense. Why? Because it's just a solid sound, right? So now I've got 2 roots that I'm toggling between and a 5th, which is the most stable interval. So it kind of sounds like very stable, but groovy, I guess, would be. So if I just try to take that rhythm, so I'm going down, down. So I'm going down, down, up on the one on the bottom. And then same thing, but then shuffling between. Kind of doing a hammer on. So I'm just getting a rhythm though. And then from there, from each node, I could reach up this way if I'm doing it with this finger, and I can reach up here to the 3rd up here, the 3rd's up here, but it's the minor 3rd. So I could walk back like this because I can go from the major 3rd back to the minor 3rd, back to the 2nd, and then get back into the groove. So I'm just gonna practice like getting that groove in, and just always returning to the same rhythm. I could slide up one at a time. So now I'm just trying to switch it up enough to make it sound interesting, right? So then I could do that to make it sound interesting. I could walk it back from above which is a little bit off because my fingering, because then my picking is a little bit off because I'm picking this one and the one below it. So I have to switch kind of my picking to when I go above it. So if I'm doing like, and then I go above it, I can do that same pattern. But I'm not hitting the second open G really. The other thing I've been trying to practice as I do this, because I can reach the string above it, but when I bar to try to get my second hand to skip a string, so that I can bar and go down to this string, and down here, and maybe even down to the bottom one, so I can kind of go when I'm doing my pattern. So now I'm kind of skipping with my picking hand so that I get a bit more distance. So now I can kind of throw that in without having to strum. If you're a hand picker, obviously you can grab that. I mean, you could grab it with your pinky going up, but I'm pretty much almost total pick person. So so it's kind of a tricky thing with a pick. It's kind of fancy with a pick to skip the string. Kind of messing my hand up. I wonder if I have some tape here. Where'd my tape go? Need masking tape. I don't know where it is. My hand hurts. Whatever. I don't care. So let's say I was going, so now let's say that I went backwards. If I try to go backwards with that same, I know I'm overkilling this node, and you're probably like, dude, I'm sick of hearing that, but I'm trying to do some repetitions here. So what if I did it this way? So I could put my pinky there, but I'm going to try to put my ring finger on there now. Try to see if I can get the same pattern, not with my pointer, but my ring finger. I grab from this one to this one, that's a minor third. So here's the minor third to the major third, and then I can go back here as well to get the 7, because 5 minus 1 is 7, right? So that would be the 7th. So that's the bluesy tension note. So I can turn the same pattern backwards if I can get that. If I can just do that same thing. If I can get that same pattern, then I can just turn around on that node. This way. I could go to the one above it. Now, if I try to go to the strings above it while I'm leaning back, then again, I'm kind of switching because I'm leaning back to this one and then running and then trying to lean because I'm going between these two strings for the normal pattern, and then I'm going above it. So then I have to kind of switch my picking when I move above it. So again, it would be kind of nice to do it with my pinky, but that's a little harder. So if I do it with my ring finger, it's a little easier. And then I try to go above it here. I have another tonic up top, so I can always hammer that one. So now I've got 3 tonics. could like try that same pattern. Interestingly enough, if I want to move from that to like this one, which is the major third, I also have an open major third back here. So I could kind of like try to mirror that kind of pattern. Not usually the note we would play with the blues progression, because normally if that was the one, if I was playing from the G, the next one would be here, which would be the C. So but C doesn't have an open note, right? so I could kind of move over here and just kind of, so I don't know exactly where. Doesn't fit into a normal blues pattern, but that's okay. It's still in the key. Obviously, when I let go of this one, I'm once again playing the open G. So I really haven't left. So I'm still kind of thinking to myself in G, even though I'm kind of emphasizing the major third of G. I think is the way to think about it, right? One way to think about it. So see what I'm doing? I'm not like, if you were a classical guitar player, you're going, dude, what are you doing? Because normally what you would want to do is leave the tonic, like Ionian, and do something beautiful that leads back into the tonic. You don't just sit there and hang out on the tonic. But if you're making a groovy thing, then now I'm just hammering the tonic, right, over and over again, and I kind of like it. I mean, so I can hammer the tonic here, double hammer the tonic, and then I'm hammering the tonic here less so. Because I'm really on the B, hammering the B, but then kind of still hitting the tonic. Obviously, if I want to work that G all the way up, I can use that same pattern. Here's another G up top. So let's do the same. I know I'm just probably annoying the crap out of people if they listen because I'm doing the same thing, but I'm just kind of trying to work in. Let's say if I do this one and the open one, another G, G back to G, and then underneath it again I have the major third and the major third. So the minor third would be back here, right? So if I just try to noodle that with my ring, doing the same pattern, the same dang pattern. Are you kidding me? Yes. So that's kind of interesting because then if I open, when I open this up to this G, I'm grabbing either the major third, the minor third, or the 7 underneath it, but it's an octave higher on the guitar, so.